You might wonder how the scoring is done in duplicate bridge. Well, most of the scoring is usually done from the north-south point of view, and basically north-south gets 1 point for every team they beat. So looking at pair number 1, also the highest score is 1 less than the number of teams that play that hand, because you can't beat yourself. So the highest score on this hand would be 6, 7 minus 1. So north-south number 1, they beat 120 beats a score of minus 100 and a score of minus 200. So they beat team 3 north-south and team 6 north-south. So they would get only 2 out of 6. But team 1 also tied team 2, so they get another half a point for a total of 2.5 out of 6. And east-west gets whatever's left out of 6, so east-west number 1 got a score of 3.5, which is 6 minus 2.5. Now team 2 also got 120, so they would get exactly the same score because they beat 2 teams and they tied number 1, so that's 2.5 out of 6. Team 3 lost 100, so we call that a minus 100, so but that's still better than a score of minus 200. So team 3 gets 1. They beat 1 team. They get 1 out of 6. Team 4 north-south, 620 beats 100 and 120 and 120 and 100. So 620 beat number 1, number 2, number 3, number 6, and number 7. So they beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They beat 5 teams, but they also tied number 5, so they get 5.5 out of 6. And team 8 gets the same. Team 5 gets the same score, 5.5 out of 6. Sorry. Now team 6 lost 200, so they didn't beat anybody. So they get 0 out of 6, not so good. And then team 7 beat team 1, team 2, team 3, and team 6. So they beat 1, 2, 3, 4 teams. They get 4 out of 6. So okay, well, let's go down the page and see another example. In this case, there were 9 teams played this hand, so the maximum score would be 8. Okay, so there it is. And then team 1 got 1430, so they beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Team 6, so they got 6 out of the maximum score of 8. Okay, and then team 2 beat team 3, team 4, team 6. So they beat 1, 2, 3 teams, but they tied number 5. So they would get a score of 3.5 out of 8. And then team 3 only beat team 4, so they beat 1 team. They get 1 out of 8. Team 4 didn't beat anybody, so they got the goose egg, 0. And notice if north-south gets 0, then the Team 7 East-West gets 8 out of 8, which is kind of neat. So these scores kind of complement each other. If you get a 0, then the other team gets the maximum score. Anyway, getting back to Team 5, they got the same score as Team 2, so they get 3.5. 3.5 out of 8 maximum. And then Team 6 beat 680, beat only minus 100 and minus 500, so they just get 2 out of 8. And then of course the East-West gets 6 out of 8. That East-West. Team 7 got 710, so they actually beat 710 beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they got 5 out of 8. Okay, and then Team 8, 1470 beats everybody else. So they beat 8 teams. You can't beat yourself, so they beat all the other teams, so they get 8 out of 8 for that. And then 1440, that beats 1430, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They beat 7, so they get 7 out of 8. And the East-West pair 8 gets the 1 out of 8. So that's about it.